All right, guys. So how's it going? What is up, Instagram? Or not Instagram. Today I'm actually not on Instagram. Why? Because I only have 20 minutes and I don't feel like setting up the Instagram and everything. But this is for Facebook. Let me see you on here, Facebook. Let me see you, LinkedIn. Let me see you, YouTube. Extra special shout out to all the YouTube members. Tomorrow we got our monthly mastermind just for the YouTube members. So go to the YouTube channel, click join. The best $10 a month you're ever going to spend. So, anyways, today's topic is all about questions in clinical research. Career questions, new site owner questions, how much money can I make questions. I've got an interview and this is what they're going to ask me questions. Look, this when you're new to something, or even if you're not new, you're always going to have anxiety about questions. And let's take this one, for example. And by the way, let me know, David, how's it going? Thank you for the robot. The robot helps tremendously. You have no idea. The robot helps so much. Yusuf, greetings, my friend. How are you doing? Thank you for watching on YouTube. Let me know where you guys are watching from. And let me know what you have on your mind when it comes to questions. So today's question, one of the questions today came from an employee. Then we're going to get into the site owner question. And then we're going to flip it back to you guys. Whatever situation you're in, I want to know your questions. Rod Raphael got the 3 robots on there. Rod outdid you, David. He got 3 robots to your 1. He sees your 1, erased it 2 more. What do you have to respond to Rod with? Okay. In all seriousness, hi Pachigala, how's it going? How are you doing? Oh, all the way from Brussels? Okay, perfect. I love it, love it. I've been to Brussels once. Okay. Somebody texted me 949-415-6256. You can all do this. It's free. Well, I don't know. Standard text messaging rates may apply. I don't know. You got to fix your phone. Figure it out. The fun part. But I don't charge. Okay. 949-415-6056. Hey, I just discovered your YouTube channel and I have an upcoming CRA interview. They sent me questions beforehand. What do you do as a monitor if you discover a patient who is not supposed to be enrolled in the trial? Well, my friend, you came to the right place. This is not good. Obviously, this is what a CRA is hired to do. A CRA is hired to catch these kind of things. So, first of all, if you do catch one of these things, you're doing your job well. If you miss one of these things, it's a big issue from the CRA's perspective, from the sponsor's perspective. So this is obviously major protocol deviation. This could be a violation of GCP. Not could. This is a GCP violation. It's got to be reported to the sponsor, to the IRB. The site most likely needs to have training. The site most likely needs to do a correct CAPA plan, which is corrective action, preventative action. The site most likely will be put on a screening hold. And then you got to make sure that this didn't happen to the other patients. That's a lot. This is why they ask you this beforehand. You could write entire 3-page, 5-page report on this, right? Just on this. So we got the questions coming through. Rod's got the 8 robots. I can't count that much. From India. Shout out to India. Charlie, how's it going, Charlie? It's been a while. I remember our first interview was my gosh, 2010? Wow. Jennifer, how are you doing? Nice to see you. Ivana, nice to see you. From Serbia? I've been to Serbia a bunch of times. My dad, my grandfather actually still lives in Serbia. He's 92 years old. Still there, living in Serbia. Fly to Belgrade. Well, pre-COVID. I went not often, but I went many times to Belgrade. I love that place. Very underrated place in Europe, by the way. Belgrade. Hey, how's it going? Naomi, Puerto Rico. Shout out to Naomi, CRA Academy graduate. Manasa, how are you doing? Venezuela, welcome. Carla Vera Navas, how are you doing? It's been a while. Do you know what is a clinical trial educator? Yes, there's a couple of, so these job titles. All right, let's do that. So first of all, before I move on, I hope that made it clear for this upcoming interview. I'm going to do a short video just on this topic because I promised this person I'll do a short video on this and upload it later today. So in case you're not clear about that or you have something else to add, let me know about the what do you do as a monitor if you discover a patient who's not supposed to be enrolled in the trial? Let me know what you think. Let's test your guys' knowledge. Forget mine. What's yours? Let me know in the comments what you think. Help me make this video for this person. Okay, clinical trial educator. Yes. So this could mean a bunch of different things at different companies. So let me look on Indeed. I'm going to look it up because this has been coming up a lot. I think I even did a video on this. Clinical trial educator. So from my experiences, if I could find this, there's different. Okay, here's a national with IQVIA, the biggest CRO. All right, so the purpose of this position is to build our database with candidates who have a skill set that meet the requirements below for future opportunities. Clinical trial educator, full-time field-based position. The clinical trial educator will provide information and education on clinical trial inclusion and exclusion criteria to trial coordinators. The clinical trial educator will also provide in-service presentations to physicians, residents, interns, fellows, nursing staff, and pharmacy. The clinical trial educator will also develop and work with referral networks affiliated with the sites. Qualifications: RN license required, bachelor's degree required, 2 years of clinical trial experience preferred, protocol execution and site monitoring experience preferred. They might get that because this is a role. Well, I don't know if they're actually going to get that because these roles don't pay, from what I understand, they don't pay as much as a CRA, but the travel is less. So basically, your role as a clinical trial educator is to go to the sites that are already doing the study. You're going to be assigned sites. They're already doing the study. And you're going to talk to them about, okay, what's been your activities? We've actually had these clinical trial educators come to our office. They come in, they say, okay, what have you done? Let us know how we can help you. What avenues have you approached? Have you approached the different providers, electronic medical records database? Where are they getting hung up on? What's going on? How come they're not referring? They do those kind of things. Then they go out. So if you tell them, well, we also have this nursing home we recruit for. In our case, it was Alzheimer's studies. Or we go to this facility, this assisted living facility, or we go to this support group. They'll actually go out there. They'll either help you prepare materials to educate those people, or they'll go out there on your behalf or with you to do this. This is why they want an RN, because they want somebody who's able to communicate with physicians and other clinicians equally well as with coordinators. So this is why this is important. This is a good job if you are an RN and you don't want to be a CRA. And it says 2 years monitoring experience preferred, but they'll take you without it. Just between you and I and everybody else watching, they'll take you without that. They are desperate for people. The industry is desperate for people right now. Okay, let's go to some of these questions. Good question. Hi, Dan. This is a perfect topic. As I told you before, I'm transitioning from an admin career into clinical research. I've been having a bit of difficulty securing a position. I have some experience working in clinical research. So, all right, Latrice. So, what you got to do is you got to emphasize that on your resume. You've got to emphasize your relevant experience first on your resume. It's a matter of just repositioning your resume and then applying. If you're trying to get in, again, I think the research site level, I hate to sound like a broken record, I think the research site level offers you the best bang for your buck, in your buck being your time and your effort that you're putting into the job hunt. Look at this position I just looked at, clinical trial educator. Those are hired usually by CROs. Where are they spending all of their time? At the site level. Why? because the site is where the rubber meets the road. Hello, Nabia. How are you doing? From India. Welcome. Ivana, I'm so glad. Yep. Luis. Hey, Luis, how's it going? Calvin from Jamaica. All right. I got to go there. I haven't been. I've been to Bahamas. Dr. Archana, how are you doing? Let's see here. Please respond. Please comment on project management versus ClinOps in CRO. So it is ClinOps. Like PM is managing the clinical operations, and ClinOps has different roles. If you're director of ClinOps, then you're really up top. You're controlling everyone, CRAs, in-house CRAs, PMs. Even if you're the PM, you're working with all those various stakeholders, not just from the CRO. You're working with the CRAs, the lead CRAs, the assistants. You have project management assistant, but you're also working with the sites, and at the same time you're working with the sponsors. So what project management, to me, again, everybody's different. To me, that's the most difficult position, one of the most difficult positions in all of research. Because no matter when somebody has a problem, whether it's a site not getting paid, or a site that needs retraining, or a sponsor that's upset with the lack of monitoring at a site, or the quality of monitoring at a site, or the CRO that's upset about something, project managers are problem solvers. ClinOps is part of that as well. So ClinOps has different titles within ClinOps. ClinOps encompasses all of that. Love the international flavor happening today. Reporting from humid New Jersey. Well, I am in humid Arizona because it's monsoon season. So not only is it hot, but it's humid. That's what I'm doing. Perfect. Clinical trial educator. Perfect. South Africa. Okay. All right. Dimakso. How are you doing? Dimakatso. Nice name. Welcome from South Africa. Thank you so much for watching. This is the best explanation I have ever heard. Wow. Probably because it's the only explanation you've ever heard. So my bar, I don't have to jump that high. I just got to say something. It's going to be the best one you ever heard because nobody talks about this stuff. I needed this before I started to work as a clinical trial educator. Thank you. Yeah, so look, it really is. You're educating the staff. A lot of times sites don't enroll, not because they don't have the patience, but because they're so busy with other studies that they don't do the basic blocking and tackling, the fundamentals of their job. So therefore, enrollment suffers. So the smarter CROs, or the ones with the most cash, like IQVIA, hire these clinical trial educators to make sure it doesn't happen, at least to their studies. It doesn't happen. And they're probably happy that enrollment's bad for the other CRO studies, because then the sponsor is more likely to use them or another CRO in the future. So yeah, there's a lot of interesting things going on in this industry right now, but clinical trial educator is not new. Like I said, my first experience with a clinical trial educator was 2016 at a site, and it was IQVIA, actually. And they came through, very nice people. She came in, she was a nurse. She talked to me, she talked to Monica. She said, "What's been the problems?" And then Monica kind of dealt with her, and I knew she was helping Monica, and they're not pushy either. Okay, a few more questions, and then I'm going to get into the question I got from the site owner. So, do you think CRA travel will change now that COVID has influenced more remote monitoring? Yes and no. I think travel has picked up again prior to this Delta variant, at least. Travel has picked up again. With Delta, who knows? But look, I own a site here in Arizona, brand new. I just scheduled a site selection visit in 2 weeks. The CRA is traveling. They're not doing virtual. What they did was a virtual Zoom call to make sure they're not wasting the CRA's time. So, we checked all the boxes. Now they're going to come do the site visit. And this study is using traditional monitoring. And that's the case for most. Ivana's cracking up. That's right. That's right. Uh, from Arizona as well. Consistently great advice for people who are job searching. Thanks. Stay cool. It's supposed to get a little cooler. I'm here in Yuma, so thank God tomorrow and Wednesday are a little bit cooler. I think it's gonna be 108 today, but tomorrow and Wednesday is only 95. Okay, so I got a question from a site owner today, and I gotta jump on another call at noon. But I got a question from a site owner today, a brand new site owner. I talked to actually two new site owners. Both of them were doctors, and both basically asked the same thing: what's the best kind of study to apply for right now? And the answer is whatever study you can enroll patients for. That's the best study to apply for, right? Don't waste your time. I know if you're trying to get the experience on your resume because you're new, you'll take any study you can get. That's fine. I respect that. You got to do that. But the best study to get is the ones you can enroll patients for. Why? Why take a study you can't enroll patients for? You're just going to give yourself more work. Even if you don't enroll patients in a study, you got a lot of work. You got regulatory maintenance. You got to file all those SUSARs. You got to do protocol amendment training. You got to train staff when they join. There's all kinds of things you got to do without, even with zero patients from a regulatory standpoint, right? Ashley Margot, the AM approach. We've been busy this weekend. We've been working. You guys think we're playing around? We're working on the weekends. Latinos in clinical research. Um, Lebo gang, thank you so much. So, Philadelphia. Nice to see you, Patrick. So, any study you can get patients for is going to be worth your while. What's hot right now? GI is hot right now. I'm seeing a lot of derm right now. I'm seeing CNS right now. Obviously, seeing COVID. Those are what's hot right now. Doesn't mean that if you're not in one of those areas that it's not hot. The next decade's going to be hot for those things I mentioned. Oncology is always hot. And then vaccines. Look, this mRNA paradigm shift of how we're doing vaccines, there's going to be a lot of vaccine studies in the future. Lots. Brad Hightower, note to file podcast. Seems like pretty much everyone is still doing on-site IMV, a couple remote SIVs here and there. Yes. I actually prefer remote SIVs as a site because it makes the CRA finish quicker, right? But that could go the other way too. I don't know. We'll see. My SSV SIV is going to be in person for these studies. NASH, yes, Rod. NASH also. I actually saw. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do NASH here in this underserved market, and I'm not going to be able to do GI unless they allow a family practice physician. If they start needing specialists, the GIs are owned by the hospital. And when I say owned, I do mean owned. The hospital bought their practice, the only GI group in town. The hospital bought their practice, so now they're owned by the hospital. And then the NASH for the liver biopsies, it's also you have to go through the hospital. But if they allow general family practice doctor to do those studies, I can do it. Same thing with psychiatry. I can't do psych unless they allow the family practice, which for Alzheimer's, they do allow the family practice physician to do it. But I got a couple networking up my sleeve. There's another town that we can network with somebody else from Latinos, Judy Galindo from Latinos in Clinical Research. So yeah, that's family practice, guys. I guess I'll end it on that. Family practice is the way to go if you're starting a clinic because it opens you up. You can cast the widest net, and then when you need to go deep, those family practice physicians can lead you to the right people. Like my PI, who's a family practice doctor, and my nurse practitioner, they led me to the specialists that I got on board, the ophthalmologist and the two dermatologists. One of the derms already said they're going to do it. The other one said they're interested. So yes, the liver biopsy at the hospital, I know they're going to charge like 5 times more than anyone else would charge in my case because they're the only service provider here for that. At the end of the day, though, it's still doable. How do you collect data from EMR for clinical research? on the source data, and in the EDC. I can go in depth on this one. Let's go last one from Latrice because I gotta go. I gotta be on a call in 2 minutes. Thank you. My experience is on a site level. I wasn't officially with the research team, but I worked with an oncologist that was a PI and sub-I on multiple studies. I was able to learn various aspects of monitoring trials and patient recruitment. Can you advise if a clinical data coordinator role is a decent entry level position? I'm actually waiting to hear about a data entry position. It is. It is. And from there, you can get into data management too, which is very lucrative. But just remember, Latrice, the further you get away from the site activities, the less of a generalist you're going to be. Unless you really want a career in data management, it'll be a little tougher to become a CRA from data management than it would if you were coordinator or even in-house CRA. So, 8,800 for a biopsy SE over here. I got to find out what it's going to be over here. I'll be in touch. So thank you guys. I got to run. Thank you so much for supporting. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share. Let's kill that algorithm. All right, robots. If you have an interview, can you coach me? How much do you charge? I don't. I only do that for our CRA and CRC Academy students. iFueco. But if you text me 949-415-6056, I'll do a video on specifics. Right? Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Irina. I really appreciate everybody watching. Gotta run. Everybody have a productive Monday. Stay tuned for my other video. Talk to you soon.